Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name is Ross, and as always, told out of Ultra Radio. So today, I'm going to be showing you a very, very fun new expanded deck for the Pokemon trading card game. Now, every so often, somebody sends me a message saying something along the lines of, Wassy, why don't you cover expanded more? And the answer is, well, I do. But the majority of people on here are mostly focused on standard, so I figure if we can drop in the occasional expanded deck here or there, hopefully we can start getting a little bit of interest going for expanded. So, the deck I want to be talking about today is very much an expanded deck, incidentally. This isn't an expanded deck that we can make work in standard with a couple of changes. This really is a full-bore expanded deck, unfortunately. It is all built around Ultra Necrozma and Garbodor. Now, Garbodor shouldn't be a terrible surprise here. It's a Pokemon we've been playing for quite a while at this stage. It blocks abilities. It really is as simple as that. That's what it is. That's what it does. It stops your opponent having any abilities to it. Except it also works for you. If this Pokemon has a Pokemon tool card attached to it, each Pokemon in play has no abilities except for Garbotoxin. So you do need to keep tools on, and of course in Expanded, there are still things like Field Blower to get rid of tools, so your opponent can get around it, but really that's an ancillary benefit, as we'll talk about in a moment. But you get to block everything from Shaymin and Dedenne, which are your setup Pokemon in the early game, all the way through to Zoroark, which of course is an ability that you're using throughout the game, and on which your deck really relies. But the fun thing here is, although you're playing Garbodor, you're not really playing Garbodor to turn off your opponent's abilities, though it is a very nice bonus. No, you're playing Garbodor to turn off your own abilities. Because you see, Ultra Necrozma, now this is the one from Ultra Genesis, which is going to be coming along, for us at least, in Cosmic Eclipse, has a rather annoying ability that says unless your opponent has 2 or fewer prizes remaining, this cannot actually attack. Yeah. So Pokemon, but if your opponent's got more than 2 prizes left, it can't attack. So we use Garbodor to turn off this ability to turn on our attack. What attack? 170 damage and an automatic energy discard from your opponent's Pokemon. That's right, automatic energy discard. Usually when you're doing this kind of damage, you're having to discard an energy from yourself. Here it's from your opponent's active, which of course can be pretty huge against stuff like Zoroark if you don't get a KO, because you can get rid of their double colorless energy. This is wonderful. And 170 damage is not to be sniffed at. There's a whole bunch of stuff out there like the aforementioned Shaymin, but also going up to stuff like Tapu Lele, on which you will get an automatic KO. You're getting a 2-hit KO on anything. You're getting a 1-hit KO on pretty much any non-GX, though unfortunately you're not hitting anything for weakness. Now, to be fair, with it being expanded, there are actually a few dragon Pokemon running around like Rayquaza that you actually are hitting for weakness, but let's say they are few and far between. But you can technically hit for weakness. Don't mention that Rayquaza's only got 170 anyway. You're hitting something for weakness, that's the main thing. Great attack, huge downside. Garbodor's just like, yeah, we cool. It's pretty gosh darn good. Now, as a side note, yes, you could do this with Alolan Muck that turns off basic abilities. But the thing is here, this Garbodor just turns off so much more. Although Muck doesn't need a tool, so I'll leave that one up to you. So 170 damage, really good. 1-hit KO non-GXs, 2-hit KO GXs, although to be fair, there's a bunch who are 1-hit KOing, and all for a single energy because, oh yeah, over in Expanded, we've got double Dragon Energy. And you kind of need double Dragon Energy, and you kind of need Garbodor, or Alolan Muck. It really is an Expanded deck. And there are a couple of other cards which are crucial, which again, Expanded deck. Now, what's really awesome here is that being a Dragon Pokemon, you've got a really awkward attack cost, a Psychic and a Metal. Double Dragon pays it straight away, and if it being expanded, we do actually have special charge that we can use to get that energy right back again, which is pretty awesome. Now, in terms of Pokemon and energy, that's it. You're playing a 3-2 Garbodor line, 4 Ultra Necrozma, and 4 double Dragon Energy. You are playing 13 in total of Pokemon and energy, and you're playing 47 trainers. It's a huge amount of trainers. But you need them, ladies and gentlemen, because actually there's a lot here that is vital for the deck working. And one thing which is really awesome and huge here, Silent Lab. You see, Silent Lab turns off the abilities of all basic Pokemon in play. Like, for instance, Ultra Necrozma. Now, it will also work on stuff like Dedenne, Shaymin, Tapu Lele, etc. There's plenty of other abilities you're turning off here. But this is your insurance policy for Garbodor. If you can't get a Garbodor out, or your opponent keeps getting rid of the tool, or whatever it might be, Silent Lab's like, yo, I got your back. It's nice to have a little bit of a backup here. Speaking of other rotated cards which are very, very important, we've got Rescue Stretcher. You do need to be able to get your Ultra Necrozma back. Rescue Stretcher is pretty huge. And 170 isn't quite enough, so we play Choice Band. And we play Hypnotoxic Laser. We do not play Burbank City Gym because Silent Lab is too gosh darned important. And now it's not actually 170. With a Choice Band and a Hypnotoxic Laser against an EX or a GX, you're actually hitting 210. Of course, okay, you're not really doing any extra damage to non-GXs with Choice Band, but you don't need to, because how many of them have more than 170 HP? And this is how you get up to those higher numbers, which are rather important. Now, outside of that, it's probably largely what you would expect. There are 4 Cynthia and 4 Juniper, because they are the best draw cards we've got in Expanded. We are also playing 1 copy of Guzma as Gusting, and of course a couple of teammates here. You're playing single prize Pokemon. Teammates lets you search a deck for any 2 cards if a Pokemon was knocked out during your opponent's last turn. Great for single prize decks like this one. Now we've also got 4 Versus Seeker, which will allow you to reuse your supporter cards. It's how you can get away with playing just 1 single solitary copy of Guzma. We talked about needing tools for Garbodor, as well as Choice Band. We've also got Floatstone. Well, of course we do. It gives Garbodor free retreat. Now, in terms of consistency here, we've got 4 Mysterious Treasure. Bearing in mind every single Pokemon you play is Dragon or Psychic, being able to search them out discarding 1 card rather than 2, pretty gosh darned important. And then we've got 4 copies of Trainer's Mail to find your item cards, and 3 copies of Acrobite to run through your deck that little bit faster. At the end of the day, you need to get your laser, and you need to get your Garbodor set up, and you need your energy. And that's one of the biggest reasons for playing Acrobike here. You've got to find your double Dragon Energy. And to that end, your A-spec of choice here has to be Computer Search, because searching out the energy is too gosh darned important. We then see a couple little tech cards, 1 Great Catcher as a little bit of extra gusting, and 1 Enhanced Hammer just to get rid of a bit of energy. Now, bearing in mind when you attack with Ultra Necrozma, you do get an automatic energy discard. Sometimes getting that with the enhanced hammer, getting rid of 2 energy at once, can be the thing that actually goes ahead and wins you the game. This is awesome. I adore this deck. Very simple, very straightforward. Get Garbodor, smash with Ultra Necrozma. I love Ultra Necrozma. I don't know if it's going to work in Standard over here, but I can tell you that in Expanded, you have to wait for this to come out in Cosmic Eclipse. But as soon as it does, you can go straight into Expanded, and you can just roll here, and I absolutely love it. But I'd like to know how you feel about this deck, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WasiPlays, where we talk about a whole bunch of games that don't even have any Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.